By now, we've all heard about it. There was a military coup in Gabon. It's making less noise than other coups that have happened recently, like the coup in Niger. Where are the warnings that were directed at Mali? Kenya has just waived the visa requirement for citizens coming from the DRC. This video is sponsored by Settling. Hi guys, welcome to Congo Talks 243. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Felicity. I invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified when we post new videos. Now, in today's video, we have some good news coming from Kenya actually. As you can see from the title, Kenya has just waived the visa requirements for citizens of the DRC. I will read the report for you just so we are on the same page. So, it says, Kenya has removed requirements for citizens of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Consequently, the DRC national passport holders can now travel to Kenya without needing a visa. Immigration and Citizen Services Director General Evelyn Cheluget said that the waiver is in compliance with the East African Community regulations on free movement of persons within the member states. President William Ruto had on July 2023 also issued a directive to that effect. The government has removed DRC from Category 2 to Category 1. The implementation of the directive was sent to all regional heads, all missions abroad, and all officers in charge of border points. By waiving visa requirements, Kenya aims to facilitate smoother and more cost-effective trade and travel between the two nations, benefiting businesses and citizens across the region. Now, me as a Congolese, I'm stoked. The DRC actually joined the East African Community in 2022, so that last year in July. One of the perks of joining the East African Community is that free movement, and I really thought that as soon as a country joins, they automatically have that right, but it seems not. So I didn't know that there was still some type of negotiations and talks that had to happen between the member states. Because currently, Congo actually only has free visa agreements with Rwanda and Burundi, if I remember correctly. Kenya now has added itself to the list, but Congolese citizens will still need a visa if they need to visit Uganda, if they need to visit Tanzania and South Sudan, and vice versa. They also need visa to go to Congo. I read a report that Uganda and the DRC are currently in talks to allow that for their two countries as well. But I will be quite excited if Tanzania also removed the visa requirement for the DRC, just so I can go to Zanzibar without thinking of a visa. I've been to Kenya and I stayed there for 7 months. I have to admit it was not hard as a Congolese person to get visa. In Kenya, we always had visa on arrival requirements. So when I had to go to Kenya, I didn't need to apply for a visa before I arrived in the country. So once I arrived there, I had to get the visa from the airport, and then I had to renew the visa again after 3 months. But yeah, removing this visa requirement is really such a good move. Kudos to Kenya. A good move for both countries. As you know, guys, I love Kenya. I've always said that I would love to visit Kenya again, just to go to the coast, because the last time I was in Kenya, I was only in Nairobi. So it would be good for me to go back there and visit the coast and see all the beautiful beaches. I don't know, maybe go for a safari. So this move is actually, it's very well welcomed. On behalf of all the Congolese people, I don't know what they think, but as for me, I appreciate this move, really. I cannot wait to only have to think about my passport when I am going to Kenya. Of course, the plane tickets too, but it would be nice to not think of the visa requirements when traveling to Kenya. But yeah, that is, it is noteworthy. Talking about visas and immigration, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor of the day, Settling. Settling is an immigration-based platform where you can find information about studying, working, and living abroad. Think about it as LinkedIn, but for immigration. You can find information going from travel regulations, visa requirements. If you are a blogger who also talks about travel and settling in other countries, you'll find Settling quite useful. If you are a student who would like to study abroad, plenty of information about scholarship opportunities, study for free opportunities all around the world. It's a one-stop solution for all immigration-related information. And the most amazing fact about Settling is that it is a completely free platform. Go on www.settling.com, sign up there, and start connecting with like-minded people. On other news that is not really news because by now we've all heard about it. So there was a military coup in Gabon. I will not go into so much details into that anymore. I feel like a lot of people have reported about it. So basically, President Ali Bongo, who has been in power for the past 14 years, was ousted by the military, and that ends his family's dynasty. It's important to note that his family has been in power for 5 decades. President Ali Bongo came to replace his father, President Omar Bongo, who died in power. And for Gabon, their presidential terms is actually 7 years. President Ali Bongo has served 2 terms already, and he was going for a 3rd term now, which people were saying that the elections were not credible because the internet was shut down, international media outlets were banned from operating within the country, and apparently no foreign observers were allowed to actually monitor the election. So the results were questionable, which is why the military thought they should step in and do the needful per se. The Gabonese people themselves are really excited about the coup. You know, they are supporting the military because, you know, one family has been in power for such a long time, so they want kind of a breath of fresh air in their leadership. They are an oil-rich country with only over 2 million people, but the population itself is not benefiting from the income as well. It's the narrative of most African countries, as we know, that, you know, okay, leaders are enjoying the benefits of power while the everyday people are kind of struggling to make ends meet. The one thing that is weird though about this coup is that it's making less noise than other coups that have happened recently, like the coup in Niger. As soon as everybody heard about the coup, it's like the world was on fire. One of the very vocal countries that were condemning the coup in Niger was France. And what is kind of interesting to me is how silent France in particular has been about the coup in Gabon. And a lot of people have been observing this silence as well, because where are the warnings? Where are the warnings that were directed to Niger, for example? Where are the warnings that were directed to Burkina Faso, for example? Where are the warnings that were directed at Mali? So people are now asking, like, you know, this one that France is very quiet like this. So what should we say about this? Even the reports that people are reporting about this coup, it's a little different. You know, they are glossing over it.
What do you make of the timing of this? Of course, this coup d'etat taking place just after the president had won, if you will, a 3rd term in office. Your thoughts on that?
I think that's where there's a big difference between what's happening in Gabon and what has happened in Niger. In Niger, the presidential election was in 2021. It was broadly credible. The president appeared to be fairly popular. He was fairly effective. Whereas in Gabon, we have a rather different situation. The president in Gabon, Ali Bongo, he had suffered a serious stroke in 2018.
This is good to pay attention to because it gives you an insight on whose interests a coup is really serving. It's important to note these double standards just so we are able to think for ourselves. And when we read something, we're not just reading what is written, but we also read what is not said. You know, we read between the lines. There's no noise, basically. It's the president of Gabon, the ousted president of Gabon, that is now asking people to be making noise for him.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, president of Gabon. And I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence.
He's basically asking us to make noise. And Africans, because we are not serious people, because we are not serious at all, they made a bit using his words.
Tell them to make noise.
Make noise. I'm not laughing. But really, I feel like this goes a long way. If I had one advice to give to any African president, it would be that the most reliable partner you can have is your people. Because when your people are backing you up, nobody else can say anything about you, really. If you are dependent on foreign powers, once you are no longer useful for them, they will just toss you away, just like they've done it to so many other people. Ask Congolese people. We had a dictator back in the days, you know, our lovely president Mobutu Sese Seko. He really enjoyed foreign support when he was in power. And he was rich. He was filthy rich when he was in power. But when it was time for him to go, when he was kicked out, he saw all of his assets frozen from these countries, that so-called countries that don't tolerate corruption but are actually facilitating corruption. But anyway, when he was ousted from power, he saw all of his assets frozen. So I would just say that as a president, as a country leader, your most reliable support system is your people. Do the best you can to get the favor of your people, because if you have the support of your people, you can stand any outside influence, any outside threat. But if you reject your people at the expense of foreign powers, you will always be manipulated. And once these powerful foreign powers are done with you, they will toss you out. they will toss you out. I'm just saying this now. I don't know if I will take my own advice if I was, or if I become a country leader one day. I don't know if I will take my own advice. Maybe the reality is once you have power or once you have to lead people, maybe your priorities change. Maybe there are other realities that present themselves once you are in power that we cannot see as people that are just, you know, living our lives. But I think the most reliable, you know, support that a country's leader can have is his people or her people. But anyway, guys, that is the end of today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about the coup in Gabon, and also what you think about Kenya now allowing the DRC citizens to be able to enter into the Kenyan territory without any visa requirements. Do you think other African countries should replicate this? My country also is included, because going to, like, people are always complaining about going to my country. It's not easy to enter into Congo. But let me know in the comments if you would love to see this replicated around the African continent. And I will see you guys as usual. I will see you guys very soon in the next one. Bye for now.